So XDefiant has been out for around a month now. I'm sure we all have the actual gameplay down pat by now and have mostly learned how the game plays, but I do still get a lot of comments asking about certain elements of the game, and even noticed that some elements have seemingly gone under the radar for a lot of players. So today I wanted to run you guys through 7 basic secrets that XDefiant doesn't really tell you. Now quickly before we get into it, I'm hoping to start an XDefiant top 5 play series here on the channel. Each season we'll have giveaways for the winners, and obviously to start the series I need you guys to submit your clips to be featured here on the channel. So head to the link in the description and submit your clips to be featured in an upcoming episode. But with that being said, let's get stuck right into it. Now the first secret you guys may not have known is actually to do with the Spiderbots, which if you're anything like me, these will be one of your most disliked elements about the entire game. Now I'm sure you will know that once a Spiderbot jumps onto you, they will usually lead to a death because they are on your head for what feels like an eternity and leave you pretty much standing there completely useless. Now if you guys didn't know, and again the game doesn't really tell you to do this, all you need to do is aim down at your feet and just spray whatever weapon you're using. It's probably a little bit different if you're using a sniper, but with any automatic or semi-automatic weapons, if you just shoot into the ground, it will actually kill the Spiderbot. Now I'm not sure why that happens. I think the hitbox for the Spiderbot just ends up being on the ground for some reason, but this is by far the easiest way to get them off of your face so that you can actually get back into the action. Keep in mind this doesn't work every single time. I'm not too sure why. It seems like sometimes if you're on a slight angle, for example, if you're running up a hill or something like that, it seems like the hitbox has a few issues, so it doesn't always work, but I would say about 80% of the time this does seem to work, and it's something that I wish they genuinely told you because it would have saved me a lot of time early on in the game. Now the next secret is to do with the riot shields, which are yet another thing that I generally find very frustrating in most shooters. However, in XDefiant, because of this tip I'm about to give you, they are really no longer an issue at all. For those who didn't know, and this is obviously only to do with the Phantom riot shield, it won't probably be the case with the GSK one that is dropping in season 1, but with the Phantom riot shield there is that little sort of window at the top, and for whatever reason you can just literally shoot straight through that, which funnily enough is where their head is, and it will result in you just getting a kill and making their shield essentially redundant. Now obviously it is a little bit hard to hit that shot. If they're really close you can panic and just miss your shots, but for the most part if an enemy is pushing you with a riot shield you will have enough time to shoot through that window. Now I'm not sure if this is some sort of bug because that seems as though that isn't meant to be the case, but at least as of right now that is working. You can shoot through the riot shields and it makes them essentially redundant. Another quick tip just linked with this one before we get to the next one is that sticky grenades do also work. So if you just throw a sticky grenade at the front of the riot shield that will result in a kill. Now the next secret you guys may not have known is to do with the sprint to shoot time. Now obviously that is a big component of any arcade shooter like this. Sprint to shoot time, especially if you're running like an SMG or something, can be the difference between winning and losing a gunfight. But one way to actually make it faster in this game is actually sliding and jumping, which will allow you to shoot quicker than if you just stop sprinting and shoot, which is how most people generally do it. Now this is going to take you a little while to get in the hang of doing it, but like I said, if you just run around a corner and you quickly see someone, if you quickly slide and then jump, your crosshairs will be up and your gun will be ready to fire in a faster amount of time than it will take by just simply sprinting and then stopping and shooting. So try and get into the habit of doing that, and that will probably save you guys a lot of the time, especially if you are a very aggressive player, and this will definitely help you guys win a lot more gunfights. Now just quickly for those interested in making the weapon grind a little bit easier in XDefiant, MitchCactus.com has you covered, as they will actually grind weapon levels, attachments and skins for you while you're out at work or at school. They have well over 10,000 verified Trustpilot reviews. All of their packages are completely safe and legitimate. They also have 24/7 customer support and even a 100% money back guarantee. Head on over to MitchCactus.com using the link in the description and use code SAMMY for 5% off for a limited time only. Now the next secret the game doesn't really tell you is to do with the Ubisoft Connect rewards, and I shouldn't really say this is a secret because obviously it is part of the main menu, so it's not like this is some completely hidden thing that they never ever tell you about. But I think a lot of us are programmed to essentially just ignore the Ubisoft Connect stuff because it does often pop up no matter what Ubisoft game you're playing, but it is honestly worth checking it out when it comes to XDefiant. In there you can actually get some really solid rewards. There's some really cool skins that are actually some of the best skins in the game in my opinion. There's a really cool skin for the Vector, and that one is only unlockable through the Ubisoft Connect rewards program that, like I said, is attached to that main menu. So don't neglect that. I think most people will, and to be honest, with pretty much every Ubisoft game I do as well. But I was just looking through it one day and I found out there is actually some really solid stuff in there. Now, the next one is, I guess, more on the basic side. This is not some completely new mechanic for XDefiant. It has been like this in previous shooters, but a lot of people probably don't know this because not every shooter actually works like this. In XDefiant, running with your sidearm is actually a hell of a lot faster than running with your primary weapon. Now, obviously that depends on the weapon you're using and the build. If you're using like an MP7 with the most lightweight build you can, then it's actually not that much faster. But for most weapons, and even realistically for most SMGs, running with your sidearm is a hell of a lot faster. It's not just like a little bit faster, it is actually genuinely faster. And this is going to help a lot when it comes to game modes like Escort, for example, where the respawns do tend to be a long way away from the payload. So it is definitely worth getting into the habit of just pulling out your sidearm as soon as you respawn, as that will help you get into the action a lot sooner. Now, something to keep in mind with that too, don't just always run around with your sidearm, because then if you do run into an enemy, obviously you are probably going to lose that gunfight if they've got their, assault rifle waiting for you. But get into the habit of pulling out the sidearm, run until you are close enough to the action, then pull out your primary again, and you will be there a lot faster than you normally would. Now, the next secret is something that I have also mentioned in previous videos, so it may not technically be a secret if you've watched all of my XDefiant content, but when you guys are building your loadouts, if you actually go to the attachment screen and then look down the bottom, it will say triangle or Y depending on your platform, and obviously whatever keybind for PC, to view the detailed statistics. Now, if you do this, it will actually give you a really solid breakdown of all of the stats that your attachments are changing. You can also cycle through which attachments you're sort of viewing at the time, and this is going to really help when it comes to picking and choosing which attachments best suit your loadout, which is something that most games, especially like Call of Duty and stuff, they don't often give this much detail. Usually it just is a very vague explanation of what that attachment does, but in this game you can see a full-on breakdown of the stats, which is very handy to know. Now, last but definitely not least, and this is one that I'm sure a lot of you are going to be like, what the hell, how is this even mentioned in this video? This is to do with the commendations at the end of each round. Now, I'm pretty sure 80 to 90% of people surely know about this, but considering every game I'm in, no one actually does this, it makes me question whether people do actually know about this or not. At the end of a round, if you just give someone a commendation, you will get 100 XP simply for doing that. It doesn't matter who you give it to. You can give it to the best player on the team or the worst player on the team, and it literally does not matter. You will just get 100 XP. And then on top of that, anyone that gives you a commendation as well, that will gain you 200 XP as well. So let's just say 2 people give you a commendation. Maybe you had a really good game and you carried your team to the win. Those 2 commendations for you will give you 400 XP. And then if you just give 1 commendation back, that is a total of 500 XP that you're gaining for literally doing nothing. It is just while you're on the end screen there. You can't skip past that screen or anything, so it's not like you're wasting time doing this. You can either do this or sit there and just look at the characters. So you genuinely just may as well do this. And if literally every person on the team started doing this, then everyone would be gaining XP a little bit quicker. Now, obviously 100 XP or even 500 XP isn't that much, but at the end of the day, it is free XP. And like I said, even though I thought everyone knew about this, seemingly I am the only one giving out commendations when I'm in the lobbies that I'm in, because at the end of the game, I very rarely see people actually doing this. So I thought I'd throw that in there. It is a very basic one, but like I said, it seems not that many people actually know that you can do this. So anyway, that is it for 7 secrets that XDefiant doesn't really tell you. If there's any extras that you guys feel like I missed, be sure to leave a comment down below and let everyone know. And hell, if I get enough comments, I can also do a follow-up to this one as well. So leave all of those thoughts down below. But with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you all out there in the arena.